Hey there, sports fans, and welcome to the Premier Ultimate League. We're coming to you today live from the tippity-tip-top of Manhattan at Columbia's Baker Field to bring you an exciting matchup between the New York Gridlock and the Austin Torch. Both teams currently sitting today at a 2-1 record, waiting to see who is going to be the final contender for those two playoff spots. I'm Stefan Dicker, and I'm joined in the booth today by Hayley Manning, commentating this game for y'all. Welcome back, everyone. We're incredibly excited for today's matchup between the New York Gridlock and the Austin Torch. I'm Stefan Dicker, and I'm joined here by Hayley Manning for your commentary today. Hayley, how are you feeling about today's game? I know the Gridlock are coming off of a loss on the road against Raleigh. How do you think the Gridlock are going to bounce back today?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens here. I know that was a tough game for most of our team, and we've worked really hard at practice this week to correct some things. So I don't know. I think the energy is really good right now, being down there on the field for a bit. Everyone's really pumped and are ready to show their stuff.
Awesome. So excited to hear it. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Megan McRandleson-Randall on the field, and she actually has a couple of adjustments from the last game. She says that they're going to be mixing up some of their D-line and O-line players, trying to understand what works better. Understanding that today is also a little bit windy out there. Curious how you think that is actually going to affect the lines in the game of play.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to think carefully about which handler personnel they put out, and also about some of the different strategies. There's a couple different offensive looks that Gridlock has to pull out that we've been working on in practice. So I was curious to see, what they decide to do. If the wind it's not too bad down there on that field. It's a little bit variable, but I don't know if it's going to give them trouble. I wouldn't expect it to, actually, with our throwers. So.
But these two teams play very different kinds of games. After talking to Coach Randall, she had mentioned that they're really going to try to spend the game containing Austin. They believe they can win with their legs, forcing a lot of the unders. She specifically highlighted key player for the Austin Torch, Julia Schmaltz, noting that they do not want to see her going deep, not necessarily considering those matchups.
Yeah. Nope, that sounds like a very good strategy. Schmaltz is an excellent player, and she did a lot of great work at Texas and has been doing great work for Showdown as well. So I would definitely look for her as a key player for Torch that the Gridlock would want to shut down. One note is that Schmaltz is actually wearing the same number on her jersey, but you might notice in the stream that there's a different last name on her on the back of her jersey, and that's to honor her mother. And it's just a personal thing for her. So viewers might notice that, just to note.
Wonderful. And Hayley, you have some unique experience coming into this game. Obviously a player for the New York Gridlock, but you spent a lot of your college career and some of your club career playing down in Austin, so you must be pretty familiar with both sides of the matchup here.
Yeah, it's actually exciting to see some former teammates, former roommates on the Austin Torch and there's also a lot of players I've never played with before. I've been kind of gone from Texas for 5 years, so it's exciting to see what kind of talent they're going to bring out here right now.
And the opening pull for the day goes up from the Austin Torch.
And we have Tulsa Douglas picking up the disc, looking to break to Sabato, who finds Highland in the middle. Highland's looking upfield, finds Johnson. Johnson to Morse, amp connection right there. Just looking to swing the disc. And she puts a bit of a bailout pass there. Wasn't completed. but there's a nice attempt by Cassie Wong.
Great defense by the Austin Torch, really locking down the handlers there. You saw an excellent matchup between Tulsa Douglas and her defender on that side. And Tulsa Douglas.
And Tulsa's interception right there. There's a little bit of a misthrow from Dre on the Torch. And Tulsa puts up a disc, hoping to find Wong in the end zone, but a little bit of an overthrow. And Torch picks up the disc again. It looks like the lines are a little bit off from the actual end zone here. And a turn from Torch player number 5, Dre Esparza.
Really unfortunate drop there. You can tell she was focused, really lasered in, had 2 turns. Let's see if the Gridlock can capitalize.
Oh, again, a turn here on the end zone line. We have Dre throwing to Wong, not quite completed. Oh, and a Callahan by Tulsa Douglas. Oof, I don't know if there was another way that point was going to end. It was pretty messy there, going back and forth.
I believe that's Linda Morse with the Callahan. Really an excellent read of the disc.
Sorry.
It popped up just a little bit. What a way to make a statement after 3 consecutive turnovers into the end zone for the Gridlock.
Definitely, definitely.
A little uncharacteristic for the Gridlock. 3 turnovers is more than we generally see from this team, who really value possession of the disc, like to work it all the way up. As Coach Randall had mentioned, they're really trying to grind through this game on both offense and defense, pushing folks under on the D-line and then really grinding through their cutters on the O-line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a really great heads-up play, too, by Linda.
Really an excellent read of the disc. You can tell there was a little bit of wind over there in that side of the end zone, which makes me curious how much the wind is going to be a factor in this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of those were just kind of bailouts. It was surprising to see the system breaking down. You know, we worked on end zone a lot in practice on Wednesday. So hopefully they can get their footing here. You know, as a first point, shake it off and move on. So we have Lindsay McKenna with the pull.
A big pull here for the Gridlock.
We have number 26 with the disc, swings to Elise Bjork. Swings it over to her teammate, who's looking to get the disc, and a layout by 26, Amy Broom. Passes to Sharon Tsao, who finds her teammate downfield for a great break throw and another break to Elise in the end zone.
And those are exactly the kinds of throws the Gridlock are hoping to stop tonight. A big huck downwind, a nice 40-yard gainer, setting up an easy goal for the end zone. Let's see what adjustments the Gridlock can make as they continue in this game, get used to some of the matchups on the other end, and hopefully force a couple of turnovers on the D-line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hayley, are there a couple of players on this line from the Austin Torch that we should really be focusing on? A couple of, not necessarily superstars, but even role players that you think are going to have a big impact on the game?
Yeah, so it looks like we have, I think, Bexforth, and she's a player who's played for Showdown for years now, and she's definitely a very talented cutter, very talented athlete in general. And she is definitely somebody to watch here to see what's going on. Also, Dre Esparza, number 5. She's a handler and handled for Texas Showdown. And, yeah, she's a great handler to watch. So definitely keep an eye here if they get a turn. We have Douglas picking up the disc. Centers to Dre and immediately puts the disc up. It's short. Intercepted by number 10, Katie Metzler. Swings to Dre. And interception by Cassie Wong. Dumps it immediately to Tulsa, who looks for Dre. Finds Kaplan. She's looking downfield. There's something up downfield, so she's looking to swing to Tulsa. Finds Cassie Wong in a contested cut there. It's a brief foul call. It looks like they're back up. It's number 30 from the Torch, Kayla Ramirez on the mark. Tulsa swings through a break there. Finds Linda Morse to Kaplan. looking to score here. It was great execution there. Score with Andrea DeSabato. That was a great execution of the end zone ISO there in the front of the stack. Dre was the initiated person in the front of the stack there, something we have been working on, and she cut and got open and got that disc.
Isn't it great to see when end zone plays
Amazing.
actually work like that?
Yep.
Spend all season practicing. You never know if it's going to play out in the game. Playing against your own teammates during practice, so it's hard to gauge, especially across a PUL season that isn't incredibly long. Looking at 8-9 weeks, 5 games per team. Not necessarily a lot of exposure to other players, so you really have to rely on your teammates to give you the necessary practice.
Absolutely.
Brittany Kaplan doing an excellent job of taking over in that end zone with an excellent score. Great shot by Brittany over there.
Exciting to see Gridlock D-line now. We have K-Spa with the pull. Looking like she's going to pull it. She tends to be a puller for this team. We have LD on the line, Wei Gao, Lauren Woods, Trisha Smith, Chelsea Leader, and I can't see the other person.
And colleague Yus Polaris with a classic flick blade pull. She absolutely loves those.
It's great. Ooh, great to see this cup zone here. Oh, Trisha almost had the interception. Not quite. Torch is able to break through. The disc is in the hands of Elise Bjork, one of their main handlers. And another tight throw, but it was completed, and a score to Julia Schmaltz, sorry.
2 back-to-back offensive holds with no turns for the Austin Torch, whereas the New York Gridlock already have 4. We're still tied up 2-2 here with 8:09 remaining in the first quarter. Haley, what do you make of a couple of these turnovers? Just early game jitters? What's going on here with the Gridlock?
Yeah, I think that they, this early game for sure. I mean, they're coming off of a loss on the road to Raleigh, and I know that, the heat played a lot of factor in getting into the team's head a little bit in first game on the road. I mean, traveling as an athlete isn't something. I mean, it's something that ultimate players do, but not usually flying and I don't know, being put up in a hotel as a paid athlete. It's a really new experience for almost everyone. So it's exciting to see them kind of pull together after that. And maybe there were some jitters in the first points, but I feel like that defense was close though. I mean, that cup looked strong. There were 2 instances where there's almost an interception there. So I'm excited to see them kind of close in on those windows. We have Gridlock receiving the disc. Dre's looking to swing the disc and finds Tucker downfield. Tucker's looking upfield and finds Morse under. Finds Wong under. Wong's looking to swing the disc and has Tucker open. He tracks the disc and brings it down. And there's a pick downfield.
Plenty of time in the air for Tucker to go read that disc and pull it right down without any pressure there from the defense. An excellent around throw. Yeah,
absolutely. Some of the pressure in general right now is there's a lot of open unders, which is just interesting to see. Tulsa with the disc to Dre. Just looked to break, but there's no option there. Swing to Tulsa. Back to Dre. There's a lot of handler movement here. And she looks to find Wong in the end zone. Gridlock score.
And that's the first offensive hold for the Gridlock without any turnover. Just really have to give kudos to the handlers on that point. Excellent handler motions, no dancing in the lane, a quick strike up line if they're available, and then clearing for the next possible throw. That's the kind of end zone offense that we like to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, they really just took over that point. That was really nice to see. A lot of that movement. There's a lot of space for it too, which is a really important thing of teammates, right? To create space for each other so that some of these things can develop.
Yep, truly unselfish play by the Gridlock. Not necessarily cutting to get the disc, but opening space in this big field that we have over here. Unselfish play and just willing to work together as a cohesive unit. I know it's something that the Gridlock really value as a part of their core. Trying to involve all the players in the fields. Great to see it playing out well here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see how Torch is going to adjust from that. That match defense, didn't seem to be shutting down those open unders. So we have Torch receiving here. A swing to Bjork. Finds number 11, Katie Forth. you have Kara Crouch to fill. Swings to Schmaltz. Sorry, Annie Ortiz. Annie Ortiz. See, some of these names I don't know. These are people I didn't know in Austin when I lived there.
Well, I'm sure you know them well enough by the end of this game.
I've definitely watched a lot of them play in college and in Showdown, like online, and it's so cool that there's a lot of Ultimate that's accessible to watch these days. Yeah, it's fun to actually see them playing here on the field against Gridlock and with other friends. Gridlock picks up the disc, tries to swing, but it is D'd by Katie Forth. And an attempt to huck to Katie Forth in the end zone by Annie Ortiz is incomplete.
New York D-line coming up with their second opportunity to convert.
Is Louisa Neves with the disc. Swung to Lindsay McKenna, who puts it up to Amy Zhao, but not quite completed. It was a D by Kara Crouch. And a pick called downfield.
What a D by Kara Crouch on that one. Really getting up. 2 offensive players from the Gridlock in the area, and she reads the disc perfectly to get the defensive play.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you expect from a Callahan winner from her days at Texas. Kara's a wonderful athlete.
A little Texas humble brag over there.
Also one of the kindest people I've ever met. When I was a rookie at Texas, she was at the fields one time, and I just came out, and she helped me with my workout, my running form, and yeah, she's a wonderful, wonderful human, wonderful athlete. And she finds number 26, Amy Broom, who puts the disc up, looking for Julie Schmaltz downfield. Was incomplete. I didn't quite see that. Did Lindsay McKenna get the D on that?
That's right. Lindsay McKenna with
great.
An excellent read and coming down with that block. Try number 3 here for the Gridlock.
Lindsay with the disc. Puts it up to Sydney Dobkin. And it sails a little bit over. It was a far throw there.
Interesting to see the Gridlock continuing to huck in this game despite their plan to hopefully just work it under the entire time. Tire out this Austin roster, which is a little bit shorter right now than the New York roster. They brought down, I believe, 18 players instead of the 21 that you can fully roster a team with.
Correct, yeah. You see this kind of containment D there, too. It's interesting, kind of straight up mark there from K-Spa. You have Julie Schmaltz swings to Annie Ortiz. Swings to KT. Finds Sharon Tsao downfield. She's looking to try and get off the sideline here. There's not a lot of options. Attempts an inside throw there to Katie Forth, but it was incomplete.
Looks like a little miscommunication down there on the fields.
I mean, it looked okay. That line looked okay. But yeah, it definitely looked like it was a little bit of a low throw.
There's
a call on the field.
Disc.
Looks like there's a timeout call. So one interesting thing about timeouts in the PUL versus in USAU, which most of the rules of this game for PUL are also USAU 11th edition, but during timeouts, you can actually sub in any number of players for either team. So so this might be a kind of a long point. It looks like Eileen called the timeout, so maybe she wants to kind of get some fresh legs in there.
Mm-hmm. And Hayley, how do you feel about that alternate rule? Actually, I heard it's one that the current USAU Rules Committee is considering adopting as an experiment for some up-and-coming tournaments. Is it something that you've seen advantageous to teams? I know in Ultimate we always talk about offense being too easy. How do you feel about that making offense even easier than it already is?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea because you do sometimes get these marathon points that really just run the athletes into the ground. And I don't know. It's been interesting to watch it here in the PUL. I think it's been really useful. And it adjusts the game a little bit, but both teams can sub in, so you also have fresh D legs. So I don't know. I think it's actually a thing that should be considered. And a miscue between Douglas and Dre. Tigrolini tried to save that, but was not quite. And also a misthrow from the torch. The Gridlock has the disc back. Tigrolini swings to Douglas. Finds Wong upfield. Holsters a huck there. Swings to Dre. Finds Tigrolini downfield. There's a call. Looks like there's a pick call.
Gridlock D-line operating out of what looks like a vertical stack, a little bit all over the field right now, but I'm sure they'll readjust shortly.
Yeah, ideally.
Only one handler currently in the backspace. Let's see who comes back to fill. Linda Morris is a little open on the break side. Let's see if we can get the around throw.
Yeah, looks like it's good coverage there by Kayla Ramirez on the torch of Stasi as she was trying to get open the open side. She does get the disc. Looks upfield to Cassie Wong. Finds Morris. Looks off a cut from Highland. Finds Sarah Johnson. Oh, and a wide open Kelly Highland. It looks like Sarah just didn't see that option there. A break swing by Dre to Douglas. Finds Highland under. Now we're here on the end zone line. Finds Morse. And there's a violation on the play, a foul.
That throw is bread and butter for Miss Kelly Beezus Highland down there.
Yeah. It looks like there might have been a foul called by the defense, saying that Linda pushed off. I believe so, based on their pantomiming, but I'm not completely certain.
Linda having a conversation with the observers. Another big difference between the PUL and USAU is that the observing time is actually limited. They want to sort of decrease the amount of conversation being had and really get back to the game.
Again, the crowd is heckling to do it again. So let's see if there's a repeat of that play.
If we know Beezus, she certainly will.
Oh, gosh. It was, but not completed. Here we go. We have Dre picking up the disc and swinging. Number 17 for torch with the disc, Marissa Land. Kind of some back and forth there between their handlers, working it up the field a bit. Number 32, Bex Forth, is back. Finds KT. Back to Bex. And Dre puts the disc up. Oh, and there's some defensive pressure there by Linda Morse, and the receiver was unable to come down with the disc.
Couple defenders in that area. Would have been a truly spectacular play had she been able to come down with it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Douglas with the disc, tapping it in here. Swings to Dre. Finds Morse on the inside. Swings to Highland. Some really fluid movement here, and puts the disc up to Wong, who was going deep, but wasn't quite the right throw.
Wong already a little bit deep in that end zone, approximately 30 to 40 yards away. Don't get me wrong, we all know that Beezus has 80 to 90 yard flick hooks and backhands. We've run them down before. That one coming up just a little bit short.
Yeah. The torch handlers working the disc, and this is the last possession of the quarter. Dre looking to swing back to Bex. It's not open. It's good coverage there on the dump D by Johnson. Bex has the disc. And throw is put up. Looks like that was a high stall. Kind of try and bail out there, but not quite working.
And that's the end of the first quarter here in Uptown Manhattan. Gridlock currently leading 3-2. Let's talk a little bit about that Austin Torch offense. We actually saw them start out with a little bit of a side stack, which has been popularized over the last couple of years, switching eventually into a horizontal stack. Gridlock, on the other hand, coming down originally in vertical, and then also switching over to a horizontal, which usually favors the deeper cutters.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, Gridlock's been working on like a vertical stack offense there that kind of shifts as the disc is swung, but the horizontal does definitely open up the field more for some of the deeper plays. And there are some set plays around the horizontal stack, so I didn't quite see if those were executed correctly, but that's generally the thought is when they do that, they are trying to play some of their plays.
Is there any graphics do we need to frame for?
And thank you to one of our sponsors, Spin Ultimates. Really appreciate all the support from the multiple sponsors across the league. Thank you, Spin, for supporting the Premier Ultimate League in 2019.
Okay, here we go.
45 seconds till the second quarter. Let's see what adjustments are going to be made by both teams in the second half. That last point actually having more than 10 total turnovers between the two teams. It's been a little bit difficult to see them convert. Let's see what they can come up with in the second quarter.
Yeah, I feel like people were hanging on to the disc a little bit more towards the end of that quarter. So I'm excited to see this game kind of clean up a little bit and come down to more kind of strategy and athletic plays. It's pretty exciting.
Yep.
It's still a very close game with Gridlock, 3 points to the torch too. So it's definitely still a game.
Yeah, hopefully seeing a little bit more movement there on the fields. I know that the Gridlock certainly love working it up through their handlers. We see a little bit more movement with the handlers as well as the cutters. Notice that all players in the team have been holding on to the disc a little bit longer at this point, really waiting for those downfield options to materialize. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more movement, looking for some of those immediate inside breaks as well as the arounds to push the disc upfield and keep the defense on their toes.
Yeah, it is an interesting point that, they do seem to be taking their time, and this is kind of a low score for a quarter have gone by. Yeah, it's definitely a game that's had a bunch of turnovers in some points, and then there's just been some really chilly offense or just a lot of movement. We haven't really seen many quick scores yet.
2 perfect holds by the Austin Torch thus far with 0 turnovers, and then that last marathon point out there. I'm sure those players are still feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Amy Zhao with the pull. Torch picks up the disc, centers to Bjork. Swings to Crouch. Finds Amy Broom upfield. It's a great bid by Sharon Zhao. Oh, and it was a turnover. Okay. I thought for a second there was like an injury call or something like that, but it looks like it was actually a turnover. I thought it looked like Sharon had that.
A really spirited play by the Austin Torch over there,
Yeah,
recognizing
absolutely.
that the disc had been dropped.
And Lauren Woods cutting deep. She's going to chase that down. Not quite in. She's right on the end zone line there. She's looking to dump the disc. Finds Jenny backfield. And there's some handler movement there from Tangerlini, who catches the disc on a great throw from Amy Zhao for the Gridlock score. That was really nice. That was really nice movement. It's always exciting to see something like that. Watching Lauren set up that cut, it's quite amazing.
Lauren Woods, really known for her top speed and athletic ability in that case, catching the ball right on that end zone line, giving the Gridlock an easy opportunity to move up 4-2 with 10:54 left here in the second quarter.
Yep, and that strike cut by Tangerlini, that was also a really powerful thing, and she's a great handler, and her movement is always very decisive, and you saw right there, it led to a score, so I want to see some more movement like that.
Yep, Tangerlini definitely known for her ultimate skills, but also one of the best Goaltimate players I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. Able to utilize that quickness, those cheeky little throws that she has, and putting it all over the field. She's known as a scorer as well as a thrower on both sides of the disc.
Yeah, absolutely. She was in Austin for Goaltimate Nationals, actually, this year. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I believe you were out there with her.
I was. Yep. It was a good time.
Sounds like a boat load of fun.
And the pull was not stopped. It rolled a bit. Everyone got excited here. And a missed throw by the Torch.
Unfortunate
Looking
error.
for Schmaltz and didn't quite. LD picks up the disc for the Gridlock. It's looking downfield for a place to develop. Chelsea leader with the fill. Catches the disc, looking downfield. Breaks for a swing to Neves. Downfield finds Smith, and there's a pick. Looks like it affected, so the disc will go back. And looks like Schmaltz is on defense there, caught up.
Louisa flashing her finger to the crowd over there, appreciating the support here from the fans.
Yeah, there's a good amount of fans here with a couple of club tournaments. Ooh, a good save there on a pass to K-Spa. And a hammer to try and get Chelsea leader in the back corner. Not quite completed.
Definitely a bit of a shady throw there from Veronica K-Spa.
She's
But
got to
the
shoot.
fans loved it. You can hear the crowd cheering, really wanting that throw to come up.
Yeah.
We certainly appreciate it up here in the commentary booth, too.
Absolutely. It's exciting. It's actually, one of her favorite throws. So if you've ever played with her, you know to cut. S-cut for that hammer.
Doesn't surprise me.
That's why Chelsea was there. They've played together quite a bit. They just started a new club team upstate New York. And so, yeah, they're teammates. Chelsea knew what to look for. Looks like Gridlock's throwing their zone defense again, trying to contain the torch movement. And they find a hole to swing to Bjork. Oh, and pass upfield is incomplete.
2 unforced turns on this point for the Austin Torch. Let's see if they can grind out on D and get it back.
LD trying to get open to help out there. Not quite able to, but there's a swing to Trisha Smith. And a pick called. Like I was saying before, there's actually a lot of fans here. There's actually 2 club tryout tournaments this weekend. So, we weren't really expecting a big showing here in New York, but a lot of people actually came back from Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is 2 hours away, to cheer on their teammates and friends. So it's really exciting to see that, and always fun to have a crowd for heckling or cheering or whatever.
Always. Love playing in front of the crowd.
See a swing from leader to K-Spa, finds Woods under. Just looking to reset the disc there. LD with a great grab on that center pass. Finds Neves. It's looking to swing, but there's a lot of pressure there by number 17, Marissa Land, on the torch. Kind of cutting off those first dump throw looks. Leader with the disc and puts the disc up to K-Spa, who, it's D'd by Kara Crouch.
K-Spot tried to shoot to Chelsea earlier, and now we see the opposite side of the fields.
Yeah, those two will try and connect there. There's a lot of chemistry. Not quite connecting yet, but doesn't mean it won't. And Crouch gets the disc and puts it up to number 11, Katie Forth. Oh, and it's incomplete. I actually missed it. There was a little bit of a pillar in the way. Was that D'd or was that missed?
Unforced turn, number 3 on the point.
All right, Neves picks it up. Oh, and a tipped throw from Colgis Polaris, also unforced. This point's got a couple turnovers in it.
See if the teams can clean it up a little.
Yeah, Bjork centers to Crouch. Swings to Amy Broom. Back to Crouch. Oh, and a drop from Schmaltz. Good, looks like Gridlock's going to take their time to set up a play here. Try and slow things down a bit.
I'm sure their legs are feeling it after this marathon of a point that's lasted almost 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Oh, and LD looks for Chelsea leader under. The throw was a bit wide, and Kara Crouch was in the way, which she's very good at doing.
Strategically, Hayley, would this be a good time to take a timeout and potentially sub in some new players?
Potentially, but I know there's a limited number of timeouts, so I'm not sure that they can burn one right now. Oh, and another missed throw from the torch.
Julia Schmaltz going up big in the end zone, known to come down with those throws in the past, has traditionally been an excellent receiver for both Showdown as well as UT Austin.
Yeah.
And there's the timeout we expected from Gridlock, taking the time to regroup. Let's see what players come on, come off. I'm sure they're going to use this as an opportunity to rest their legs.
So they do have 2 timeouts per half, so definitely should be using it. Yeah. Had to confirm. I couldn't remember how many.
Looks like we see a couple new players coming out there. Beezus Highland, Brittany Kaplan, Cassandra Wong, walking off the field. We'll see who comes on and stays here.
Yeah. Real quick, we want to acknowledge a sponsor here. The Discraft Ultra Star is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft's the world leader in disc sports. Okay, here we go. We've seen some players subbed in here from Gridlock. More of the O-line. Douglas looks to find Morse. Toes the line here. Looks like it was in. Just looking to swing. Douglas not open backfield, but Morse puts up a pass potentially to Highland, and it was not completed.
The junky defense from the Austin Torch there proving successful, making Gridlock throw something a little more difficult than they're used to.
Yeah, I mean, challenging that dump cut from Douglas, that was really big right there.
Looks like there's some discussion on the field, a potentially disputed call.
Yeah, so the players have just a limited number of time, to discuss that.
Looks like they're still having a discussion here on the field, taking a little bit longer than some of the other discussions we've seen in the past. Keeping everything friendly, I'm sure.
Yeah, looks like Torch retains possession of the disc. Swings to Zhao. Finds number 13, Lily White. Zhao back with the disc. Oh, and incomplete pass downfield.
Zhao having a number of touches on that point and proving to be a real grinding player, getting a lot of those unders and working it upfield for the Austin Torch.
Yeah, Sharon Zhao she was a very key player for University of Texas Melee and also for Showdown.
Looks like Austin Torch keep possession.
Looking to swing the disc, getting it off the line there. With KT, the disc, looking to find an option. Finds number 21, Danny Runzo. Oh, and a great cat grab by Sal. That was a very athletic play.
And here we have that beautiful around throw. Great patience here by the Austin Torch, waiting for the right moment, being patient, working the end zone set, and another around to the front corner of the end zone for the goal.
Yeah, it was a great break throw, and Sharon did everything she could to make sure she was going to catch that.
After a great couple of cuts under, really proving to be the main downfield receiver that the Austin Torch were looking for on that point. Again, getting those short 10, sort of 8-yard unders and working their way up the field. Zhao earning that goal.
Sao, actually, yeah. Okay, see the Torch D-line here. Picking their matchups. For Gridlock, we have K-Spa, Dre, Stasi, Douglas, McKenna, Amy Zhao, and Cassie Wong. It's like a great O-line here. Excited to see them do some work.
I'm jealous. I wish I could play on that O-line.
Yeah. There's Stasi picking up the disc. Centers to Dre. Gains quite a few yards there. Oh, and just a drop by Amy Zhao. It's like Bjork picks up the disc. Kind of made a signal to her players to kind of come in a little bit. Finds Katie downfield. And Bjork puts the disc up, but it's D'd by Tulsa Douglas.
Austin almost coming up with their first break of the game, but Tulsa Douglas, she's all over that end zone and denied anything.
We have Dre picking up the disc for Gridlock. Finds K-Spot inside. Swings to Douglas. Over to Stasi. To K-Spot again. It's Douglas, who sees that Lauren McKenna is streaking deep and puts the disc up. McKenna comes down with it, but not in. She's looking downfield. Nothing open right away, so looking to recenter and trigger this end zone offense here. Douglas finds Stasi. Stasi makes a great cut, throws her defender off, and gets that wide open throw.
And there's your Gridlock. As we mentioned earlier, looking to move it early, doing a great job downfield prior to that. A couple of quick throws, never holding the disc for more than 2 seconds, and then a truly excellent shot downfield from Tulsa Douglas, putting it right on that goal line. And what a read by Lindsay McKenna, right over Julia Schmaltz.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
That's a really nice matchup right there, those two. Both are excellent athletes and excellent in the air, so it was really great to see.
A matchup we've all been looking forward to. And it looks like Lindsay's staying out there.
Yep.
Looking to pull on the D-line. See if she can get 2 in a row.
She's got energy, so if she's telling Eileen she can play, she's going to be in, I think. Actually, a couple of players staying here. We have also Amy Zhao and Nastasia Tinkerlini are staying as well. They're joined by LD, Chelsea Leader, Ginny, and Louisa. We have McKenna with the pull. Tina Woodings receiving for Torch. Centers to Dre. Finds Beck's fourth. To Kayla Ramirez, who sees the player open under, but the throw was incomplete.
A little quick on that one. Very close to the sideline, making for a difficult grab, but almost pulling it in.
And the disc is up. LD puts the disc up to McKenna, and it's D'd by Lily White. Looks like there's a foul call. Discussion here on the play.
LD putting up what originally looks like a excellent touch throw to space. The wind catching it a little bit and putting it up.
Yeah, let's see that replay here. So you have McKenna tracking the disc, who goes up, and there was a lot of contact there. The PUL does play under whiff to foul rules, which is different from USAU foul rules. It's a little bit stricter, and if there is contact after the disc, if there's contact, any kind of dangerous play, then it is still ruled a foul. Versus, I know USAU, if you hit the disc first and then hit a player, it's not ruled a foul.
Yep. Looks like number 13, Lily White, able to come up with a block there, but unable to avoid contact. So a foul is called, and McKenna will stay with the disc.
Yeah, she taps it in. She looks and finds Amy Zhao in the end zone. The disc sails with the wind, and Luisa Neves with the score. It looks like there was some communication there because Amy pulled off of that. She was about to go for it, and she kind of restrained herself, and that was really great communication down there.
Again, some more selfless play by the New York Gridlock, letting their players come in. And what an excellent read by Nevis. Understanding the disc might be a little high, something that you have to be aware of, especially in these windy conditions. Again, not necessarily too windy, but any little gust can push it just a couple of inches over your hand where you previously had to play.
Yeah, that brings Gridlock to 6 points here in this game. Torch at 3.
Just 35 seconds remaining here in the first half. We'll have 1, possibly 2 opportunities at the end zone. And the second quarter will be finished, again, not by a buzzer beater, but by last possession. So whoever has the disc when that clock comes down to 0-0-0 on your scoreboard will have the last opportunity to score for this half.
We have Zhao with the pull. Disc is centered to Bjork for the Torch. Swings it over to Broom. Finds Sao. Looking back to Bjork. Trying to move it through this pressure here and get a hand block by Trisha Smith.
Great overall defense by Trisha. Really reading the way that they were pivoting and moving all around. Excellent defense.
Yeah, it was really great containment defense there. Zhao with the disc. Swings to LD. Gets the disc to Gao. Finds Smith downfield, and she saves that disc from potentially being down. Finds K-Spa. Is looking downfield, and a hammer again. But Smaltz is able to bring that down.
Another hammer there by colleague Spolaris. We do know she loves that throw, but with a matchup like Julia Schmaltz in the end zone, it becomes riskier every time you throw it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they can start to see that she wants that.
And that's the half here, folks. 6-3. Gridlock currently leading the Austin Torch.
Okay, we'll take a break here for halftime. Great. So here during halftime, we have a few things to show you and to talk about. Gridlock is proud to support The Sky is Red documentary, a film documenting the push for racial, class, and gender equity in Ultimate Frisbee, which is produced and directed by Gridlock #2, Brittany Kaplan. An anonymous donor is matching all online donations to the film until midnight tonight, which is really great. So you can watch the trailer and learn more about the film at theskyisredfilm.com. As well as donate via PayPal and support the making of the film. Kaplan was able to show me an early cut of that doc, and it's really wonderful. They've done some great work. They spent a lot of time traveling to film this. So yeah, definitely go online right now and donate while we still have this donor matching all donations.
Yep, a lot of passion and energy put into that documentary. Highly recommend these incredible videographers and producers spending months traveling across the country, conducting interviews, really taking a new take on Ultimate that many of us haven't necessarily seen before.
Great. So now we have a sizzle reel from highlights from the game so far. Oh, sorry, previous games that we'll show here.
Enjoy.
L-O-V-K!
The roots of Gridlock, the roots of women's Ultimate New York is just this like fierceness to persist in something that we love to do.
Survival was formed as the first women's Ultimate Club team from New York City in the fall of 1982.
To be able to be recognized as a professional women's team in any sport these days is significant. There's a responsibility there. It's important to recognize how far things have come since the beginning of Ultimate among women in New York City.
Everybody was working so hard. You were a teacher or you're waiting tables. These women were doing some amazing things. PhDs, law school, journalists. It was a real scramble to sort of make ends meet. It's not like everybody got out at the stroke of 5 and could just easily make it to practice. I love this one. This sums it up. This is the post-game, action. There's the boombox and the dancing and the boxer shorts. you know, and the headbands. And here we are, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You know, 11 players and you were psyched. You know?
Ultimate gave me the opportunity to say, hold on, how do we want to play it? Like, how does it work for us? It was really special to have ownership over our game. We should always enjoy it. And if we're not enjoying it, then we need to stop and talk and say, what can we do to make this better?
Having survival at the game is so amazing. Some of them were the ones that I was, as a young female player, looking up to those veteran women and just thinking like someday I want to be there. Now they're on the other end of it, I'm on the other end of it, and now they're giving that energy back to our young players, and that is inspiring. They know how much of a jump this is and how important this is for Women's Ultimate in terms of bringing women to this professional level.
We already have a lot of people playing in college, in club, in high school, in middle school. So not only is there an audience to watch, but there's also a pipeline of players. What Pull is trying to do is add an option, add visibility. Just to see high-level women competing and people caring about it is pretty radical.
This live Ultimate broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. Thank you to another one of our sponsors. Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Stop by our merch table to buy your very own New York Gridlock disc from Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. The PUL athletes are supported by Strive and Uplift, a strength and conditioning community that provides virtual programming and education to Ultimate players worldwide, in addition to on-site services in their Seattle and Boulder locations. Learn more at www.striveanduplift.com. And we'll come back to you in just a minute with the second half of the New York Gridlock versus the Austin Torch.
Great, and we're back. We are starting the second half. And there's a turn there by Gridlock. Tina Woodings picking up the torch. Is looking to swing, waiting patiently for teammate to get open there. Finds fourth in the middle. Swings over to Marissa Land. Back to Woodings.
And a Cassie start trying cheer from the crowd.
Heckling on point tonight. Almost D there. Oh, and Cassie hears that. Here's the crowd.
Start trying indeed.
And a D by Cassie Wong. Tucker picks up the disc, looks to swing to Dre. Over to Morse. Finds LP, who puts the disc to the end zone, trying to find Sarah Johnson, and it was just outside of the end zone.
Literally inches outside of being playable. Great movement there from the Gridlock, swinging it from one side of the field to the other. LP looking there and shooting to the end zone, coming up just shy of what was going to be a spectacular goal.
Yeah. Looks like the disc went out close to where the throw occurred. Bjork's tapping it in over there.
Coming in with a little bit of a junky look.
Oh, and a miscue there between the handlers. And Gridlock capitalizes on that to score.
It's number 9, Sarah Johnson, who comes down with it in the end zone, seemingly unguarded, wide open. Looks like that junk defense from New York Gridlock really worked. Something y'all been practicing a lot?
Yeah, there's it's basically like a clam type of defense, but I don't want to give away too many secrets. So
we appreciate that. You know, we'll look at the playbook after the season is over, maybe, and reanalyze some of these innovative Gridlock defensive plays.
Yep.
Understand you wanted to keep it secret for now. There's obviously one more game left in the regular season for the PUL, followed by championship weekend.
Absolutely. Gridlock's looking real good right now, so if they can keep it up the rest of the game, then hopefully there is a championship weekend to play into there.
That's right. Currently up 7-3. If they win this game, Gridlock will move to a 3-1 record, not entirely guaranteeing them a spot in the playoffs, but putting them one step closer and giving them a very likely shot.
Here we go. Another great pull by Lindsay McKenna. Gridlock getting down there quick. Lots of also quick handler movement by the torch. Looking to swing. Find crouched upfield, who puts the disc immediately to Katie Forth in the end zone, who comes down with that disc. Wow. It's great. Great read.
What a read. What a box out. Great body positioning there, making sure that Nevis had no chance at getting that disc, and she scoops it up one-handed in the back left corner of the end zone.
Yeah, I feel like the defense there wasn't quite as aggressive as it was on that last point. I didn't quite catch what they adjusted, but yeah, can't let that throw go up.
No, it looks like there was a moment in the middle of the field, about 5-6 seconds into the stall, where they had almost a double team. Not quite there. Obviously, double teams are not legal in the PUL. Mm-hmm. But there was a tense moment about stall 7, putting up a nice high-release backhand, about 10 yards upfield to a wide-open player. Kara Crouch then shoots it deep, knowing that Forth is in the end zone and ready to scoop it up.
Absolutely. See some of that chemistry there from players who have played together for some time.
That's right, and I believe, Hayley, we were talking about this before the game. One of the key differences between the Gridlock and the Austin Torch teams. The Austin Torch are primarily players who have played on Austin Showdown for the last couple of years. Approximately 75% of that team have really been playing club together for a number of years, whereas the New York Gridlock are made up from teams down in Philadelphia, New York, Boston, people who played on several different club teams, which may lead to chemistry. However, the Gridlock up 7-4 right now and looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is put up to dedication of these players to practice together. And Highland puts a disc up, finds Wong in the end zone.
And Wong really getting up.
What a great throw. Yeah, that was a great play by Cassie Wong.
Also known for her ups. Let's talk a little bit more about that dedication. I understand that there was a little mishap at practice earlier this week due to the rain, and y'all had to relocate to an indoor facility a little further away than expected.
Absolutely. So Gridlock actually has weeknight practices right now. That's the way to work around club schedule of people, trying for club teams, already on club teams, whatnot. So it's difficult to find time to practice and kind of build that chemistry. But, early on, we had a retreat together before we even ever got on the field. And then, we've had multiple practices at this point, and we have weekly Wednesday night practices. And this week there were thunderstorms that closed our original field. So, our owners found indoor space that we could use. So everyone was scrambling to find rides and get there to practice just for 2 hours in a place that's so many people, it was over 2 hours to get to. So it was really great practice. Everyone came focused. It was impressive to see. We have some great defense here right now by the Gridlock Cup. Lauren Woods, the primary crashes there, kind of trying to stop the handler motion. Chelsea leader on the mark. Torch finds a hole, swing through that. Gain some yards there to Bjork. Finds fourth in the center. Swings to Crouch. And Bjork wide open in the end zone.
And here we have a new defensive look for the New York Gridlock. We've seen a couple junk plays. We've seen some person defense. That was the first time this game we've seen that three-person cup. A standard 3-3-1 with two wings, a short deep and one deep deep. Again, how many different defensive plays without giving up too much does the Gridlock have in their pocket?
That's about it.
So we've seen it all at this point.
That's all I can say. But yeah, that is actually a new defensive play that was spent time on in this 2-hour indoor practice that people came to from sitting in traffic for 2 hours. And it's really great to see them executing it well. I mean, it's a pretty standard zone, but I thought that was really, the Cup was quite aggressive there in their attempts to prevent those handler crashes and keep the disc on the sideline. And
some great defense there from the New York Gridlock, containing them for most of the point, forcing a number of throws. However, the quick handler movement there of the Austin Torch able to put it into the end zone and make it 8-5.
We have a Gridlock O-line here receiving the disc. Dre Esparza with the pull. Douglas receives the disc. Centers to Tucker. Briggs swings over to Johnson. Finds Highland downfield. And Douglas upfield gets the disc. Fakes a huck. Kaplan gets the disc and puts that huck up to Wong in the end zone.
Another one of Kaplan's favorite targets, Cassie Wong, have been teammates together on New York Bent for a number of years. But really on that point, one thing to highlight, Kate T. Metzler playing some truly excellent handler defense on Becca Tucker, denying the disc, forcing the Gridlock to actually go to their second option. And eventually that's going to result in a turnover.
Yeah, absolutely. If that first, dump cut doesn't get open and they're still kind of cutting in the space, then it definitely can jam up the offensive flow. Thankfully, Gridlock was able to combat that. It was almost interesting in that replay. You could see kind of Cassie maybe was about to change that cut and saw Brittany put it up, and that was really great.
That's a team that really trusts one another.
Yeah, and heads up. I mean, players who are able to see those things and adjust on the fly, Cassie is a very athletic player, so she definitely is capable of doing that.
Cassie Wong currently playing with Boston Brute Squad, having 2 national championships in the USAU club scene, making it to the finals the last 2 years, and playing again this year.
Yeah. If the Gridlock defense comes down hot, almost a D there from K-Spot. Bjork puts up the disc and is incomplete by fourth.
Yeah, it's one of those discs that's a little bit difficult to read. It's right over your head. You're turning around. You're trying to watch your footwork. And a great read there by number 11, Katie Forth, but unfortunately unable to come down with it.
There actually seems to be an injury call there that Katie on that bid. So she's going to be subbing out.
Looks like her feet might have been a little tripped up in that, maybe twisted one of her ankles. Hopefully she's okay, and we'll see her back in action for the rest of the game as really an impact player for this Austin Torch team.
But don't worry, Torch has the sub of her twin sister, Bexforth, to come in here.
How convenient.
Yeah. Here we go with Neves with the disc, looking to center to Gao. Has a swing throw that is not completed.
Unfortunately, just coming up short there.
Again, this really good tight dump defense. You know, Gao had to make a few different kind of jukes to try and get open there. You have Bjork with the disc and dishes it to Schmaltz for the score.
The Austin Torch there really showing a desire to win. They're not ready to give this one up yet. We had a 6-3 game at half. We're right now at 9-6. All the O-lines have held despite a couple of turns. Austin unwilling to give it up. They've got a slightly shorter roster than the New York Gridlock, as we had mentioned previously, but they're still out there grinding on every point, really wanting to pull out a win up here in Manhattan.
Yeah, as I would expect. They're all really great players, and you know, as you can see right there, they're going to take advantage of any mistake. They're going to be able to be efficient and put it in. So
Austin obviously still also in contention for a couple of those final spots at championship weekend, and this game has a material impact on their potential to be there.
Mm-hmm. The Gridlock O-line back out there. Morse, Johnson, Kaplan, Dre, who's switched over from the D-line, so this is a new look for her on the O-line here. Pointek, Tucker, and Highland.
And the pull coming from number 3, Bethany Ebhart, Twitch.
Tucker receives a disc. Centers to Dre. Finds Highland on a wide break throw. It's back to Dre. To Kaplan. Finds Morse. Swinging this disc across the field. There's a lot of containment defense there by the Torch here. Also looks like a bit of a junky kind of zone here. And Tucker with the disc, sees Morse going deep. Puts the throw up, and it's incomplete. It's D'd by Schmaltz.
Exactly the kind of throw the Austin Torch wanted to see up, giving one of their taller receivers and one of their best deep cutters a chance to get the sky over a New York Gridlock player.
Yeah. Ramirez to Sparza, who throws a little bit high to Lily White, and the disc is intercepted by Dre DeSabato. Morse with the disc. Centers back to Tucker. Finds Highland on the swing there, on the break. Centers back to Kaplan. Finds Tucker. Finds Morse downfield. Looks like there's a pick call downfield that's unrelated or potentially related. Nope, they're discussing it. Potentially related.
Morse, I'm sure, asking whether or not the player on that side was able to potentially make a play on that disc. Another material difference between the rules in USAU and the PUL is that the pick distance is actually a little bit shorter. You need to be within 6 feet of the offensive player to make a pick call.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's the thing we focused on at practice. Okay, so the disc comes back. It's like on a contested call. Or on the pick call, sorry. The handler movement here, losing a little bit of yards, trying to find something downfield that's open. We have Kaplan to Piontek, who finds Highland in the end zone for a score.
Piontek lasering into that end zone. Highland having her defender right on her tail, but able to come up with it and make it a score now of 10-6 in favor of the Gridlock with 4:51 remaining in the third quarter. Hayley, let's talk a little bit about offensive and defensive lines for the Gridlock. I know they were looking to mix it up a little bit. Is there a way that the Gridlock tend to think about their offensive and defensive players in terms of the skill sets or their mentality when they have the disc?
I'm not completely sure that I would know what the coaches think. Just from practices, they don't really share a lot of that during that point in time. I think they share a lot of individual direction with the players. But our defensive line. Our offensive line definitely is just, possession, right? They want to make sure that they're working the disc and they're taking these 100% throws, not taking too many risks. Make sure they're going to hold on to the possession during that point. D-line, in general, is going to be the people who are taking a little more risks, but calculated ones, and they're definitely encouraged to play to what their abilities are and play on what they see downfield. You have Torch swinging between the handlers and find Broom downfield. Crouch with the huck to Sharon Sow for a score. That was indeed in.
And the Austin Torch making that one look easy.
Yes.
Great handler motion, great movement by the cutters downfield. Wide open 30-yard shot into the end zone. That's what we like to see. It's some really great ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very chilly O. Makes you question where was the D there on some of those, on the opens, the unders open. So I didn't quite look and see if they were running any kind of special D there. It looked like it was match defense, person on person. So.
Yeah, as we've seen, the Gridlock have come out with a number of different defensive strategies during this game, all of which appeared to have relatively similar effects. They've gotten some blocks there on the match defense. They've clearly gotten a couple turnovers in their zone. We saw that one look with the three-person cup that didn't necessarily result in a turnover, but definitely took a lot of throws to get it upfield. So the Gridlock proving very versatile in their defensive strategies overall.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll both seem to think that maybe the next D-line we'd expect to see a different type of defense again because they were pretty effective. We have Torch pulling to Gridlock. Dre picking up the disc. Centers to Douglas. Defense got down there quite quickly. Not quite fast enough to intercept that disc. Finds Johnson for a swing. Swings to Kaplan, who finds Dre inside. Johnson to Douglas. He's looking downfield and finds Morse with a low throw, but great grab by Morse just to keep that disc in play. Swings to Douglas and sees Wong. Oh, and the throw was incomplete. Looked like it was touched the ground before it reached Wong.
Yeah, unfortunately, an unforced turnover there by Douglas, especially considering how amazingly she's been playing this entire game, going every other on the handler position, hitting the arounds, the insides, the big shots. She's really got all the throws.
Absolutely. Looks like a timeout called by Torch.
Now let's see what players sub off here. We've got the Gridlock now coming out on defense. The Torch coming upwind on offense with 3:21 down by 3. This game is certainly not done yet. I'm sure the Gridlock are looking to have more of a possession offense, hopefully run down that clock a little bit considering they're up by 3 points. But let's see what they can come up with.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
And what a great crowd we've got here today. Almost 150 people in the stands, if I'm looking correctly, possibly even upwards of 200. It's 80 to 90% full. You can tell that New York City has come out in full swing. As you mentioned before, there's a lot of commitment from the Premier Ultimate team, both on the players as well as some of their spectators and fans. I believe that New York Bent was down in Allentown, Pennsylvania earlier today. And a vast majority of the team are here in the crowd, driving 2 hours there and back. And they'll be back down there tomorrow morning and taking off at the crack of dawn to make it in time for their first game.
Absolutely. New York City, if you want to play Ultimate New York City, you're a person who is dedicated to it. We have a hammer by Sal, finds Crouch downfield. Finds Bjork, who puts the disc up. She sees Schmaltz open in the end zone. Oh, and a turnover there.
And Schmaltz with her hands on her head on that one, wishing she had come down with it. Really a great shot downfield, just shy of the end zone.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, to play Ultimate here in New York, you have to really be dedicated. It takes a lot of effort. It's not many miles traveled to get to practice, to get to games, but a lot of time spent traveling, even with a car. But most people do not have cars, so you're traveling on transit. So fans are equally dedicated.
Oh yeah, New York and Ultimate, as we all know, is difficult, spending hours at a time on the train, on the bus, walking literally 30-plus minutes from the closest subway station sometimes to get to the field.
Yep. We see movement here, some quick movement by Gridlock working down the field, but there's a turnover there. So Torch is going to pick up the disc. Looks like Bjork is picking up the disc for Torch.
Unfortunate unforced error there by Wong. And a great inside throw.
Oh, and Stasia Tingalini with the D attempt, but not quite. We have Schmaltz put the disc up to Sao. Finds Crouch. And a reset. Finds Broom. Kind of moving back there, but trying to find an opportunity like that one to score.
And that's Katie Forth, number 11, with another goal here for the Austin Torch.
Brings the score to 8 for Torch and to 10 for Gridlock. This game's getting a little closer. I mean, that was it's been a 3-point game, so let's see if a 2-point can go down to 1 point and maybe more.
That's right, Hayley. I mean, the intensity, you can tell, is actually starting to build a little bit on the field. They're getting a little bit closer. The fans aren't quite as loud as they were when the Gridlock went on that early run. Let's see if we can get the fans out there to continue to support their home team.
Absolutely. I mean, some of this heckling, you heard some direct effects on the field. So, maybe they see some things that the players can't.
I'm convinced that heckling is really just another form of cheering.
Oh,
heckling,
of course.
Usually done in good spirit and good faith. Loving all their players. We have great opportunity to play with many of the players on the field, as you mentioned before, and they're all good friends of those in New York City. So all heckles certainly in good jest, and hopefully giving them a little bit more confidence, letting them loosen up a little on the fields, and play the games that they've been playing for years.
Absolutely. Okay, we have a minute and a half left in this quarter, in the third quarter. Gridlock's receiving. Esparza with the pull for Torch.
And that throw bobbling up a little bit in the wind.
Yeah, definitely looks like it's picked up a bit on some of these hucks. They've kind of sailed in odd ways. Douglas with a wide swing to Tucker. Open up the field there a little bit. Centers back to Douglas. Finds Highland downfield. Bumps it to Tucker in power position. There weren't any deep options open. Finds Wong under. He gets the disc even with Poach in the lane. Finds Highland. He's looking to center the disc. And she's looking upfield. She puts the disc. There was a receiver in the area, but incomplete.
Another great defensive effort here by the Austin Torch. You've noticed multiple times players coming out of the positions that they were originally guarding, looking to come in and potentially get a poach block. Everyone has their heads fully in this game now.
You have Lily White with the disc for Torch. Swings it, gets the disc back. Finds Esparza. Sends it to Twitch downfield. Bethany Ebhart. Dre with a put upfield. It was the end of the quarter there. Highland gets the disc. Tucker to Wong. Wong puts the disc. Looking for Highland downfield, but it's incomplete.
A close effort for sure. And we actually see that both teams actually coming out with a slightly different strategy than they usually do.
Yeah.
Austin Torch coming down in a vertical stack on that point, having a 4-person stack and then 3 handlers across the back. We also see a little bit of poaching from the New York Gridlock, trying to also reiterate the focus on that game, putting a lot of emphasis on the importance here as they want to come up for the block and get the win as they head into their final game of the season in a couple of weeks.
It's unclear to me whether Esparza thought that maybe there was like a buzzer beater situation there on that throw. She put that disc up, and it was kind of a blade. It didn't really look like a well executed throw, and so I'm curious if maybe she thought there was a buzzer beater situation, but it ended up being a possession situation and was actually received by Gridlock. So, it's interesting there. Maybe I actually can never keep track a little bit of which quarters have which rules, so maybe she kind of got mixed up there.
For our new fans out there, the first, second, and third quarters are all ended by the final possession. That means that the final team to hold the disc at the end of the quarter gets an opportunity to score, taking as many throws as they want. But now we're here in the fourth quarter where it will end on a buzzer beater if they're unable to get a quick, easy shot with the last couple seconds.
Absolutely. So a few words about our sponsors here. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. And also, the Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. And finally, the PUL athletes are supported by Strive and Uplift, a strength and conditioning community that provides virtual programming and education to Ultimate players worldwide, in addition to on-site services in their Seattle and Boulder locations. Learn more at striveanduplift.com.
For those of you who are just joining us, the score is currently New York Gridlock 10, Austin Torch 8. I'm Stefan Dicker, joined here by Hayley Manny in the commentary booth. Manning.
Did you just mess up my name?
A little bit.
It's okay. It's hard. It's hard. This is hard. I mess up the names of people on the field who I played with for years. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting experience and really fun getting to commentate for friends. So it's a great time. It was a great time.
No, we're incredibly privileged.
And with friends.
Of course. The fourth quarter here in this exciting game. Gridlock only up by 2 and pulling. If the Austin Torch are able to hold, they'll make it a 1-point game, really putting the pressure here on the New York Gridlock.
It's tough to smoothly zoom on this.
Sorry, a little bit distracted. There's some little mid-quarter games going on right now. T-shirts are being thrown into the stands, which is always a fan favorite, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Thanks to all the volunteers who have come out today to support ticketing, support here through the video, and of course those who are just tossing out shirts into the audience. What a great volunteer job.
What a great volunteer job. You get all the glory there.
I gotta say, we have the better jobs, but we can afford to be jealous.
Absolutely. So we have Torch with some very quick movement right off the bat from that pull. Oh, and the disc is up. D'd by K-Spa's leg.
Nice little cap block there from K-Spa.
Just making sure it's down, yeah. LD picking up the disc for Gridlock. Looking for K-Spa, who pulls that disc away from the defense.
And a big shot from Neves.
Big shot from Neves, seeing Woods downfield. And Woods comes down with that disc. Swings it to K-Spa. He swings it over to LD on the break side and finds Chelsea Leader in the end zone for a score.
Lauren Woods, clearly the MVP on that point.
Absolutely.
Boxing out her player. Let's see it here in the replay.
She has fourth, vying for that disc as well, but she boxes her out and stays focused on reading that disc. She looks to swing right away to K-Spa. Swings and LD finds Chelsea in the end zone, who made a great break cut there.
Swing, making it look really easy.
You saw how excited they were to score there. You know, they've all been teammates at different times, but definitely K-Spa and Lauren were teammates on Bent together. So, yeah, it was definitely exciting for them to be able to do that.
Oh, I'm sure. And a great break there by the New York Gridlock. Chelsea Leader running across the field, putting her hands up, showing her affection for the fans. It goes both ways. The fans love the Gridlock and the Austin Torch players, and I'm sure they love them too.
Absolutely. Here we have 11-8 game to Gridlock right now. Pulling to the Torch. Let's see if Torch can keep an offensive hold here. And the pull is out of bounds. Those of you who are not familiar with the rules, if the initial pull goes out of bounds, then the disc is brought into the center of the field by the offense at the point of where it went out of bounds, or if it's past a certain point, it comes in at a designated brick mark. You have Torch moving the disc quickly. Bjork over to Ortiz. Looking upfield, finds Sao. It's downfield, finds Schmaltz. It's a great bid by Lindsay McKenna, trying to get that D. Not quite, though. Broom with the disc, looks downfield. Finds Sao again. Fourth makes a cut, not quite open. Sao's looking for a hammer. It's completed, but not in. Ortiz with the disc and throws to Crouch for the score.
A little bit of a last-second bailout hammer there. Great defense from the New York Gridlock, really showing grit, bidding for all those discs, putting on excellent marks, and forcing what looks like a stalled 8 to 9 hammer. That was completed. Really excellent hammer by Sao. And finally a goal for the Austin Torch, making it 11 to 9 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting movement from the Torch there. They were able to hold. No turnovers in that. So.
But again,
you see Tina
many times where they're coming up just inches short of D. The Gridlock are poised to make a run here in the fourth quarter. Let's see if they come up block now.
They have the D-line here discussing what they're about to do. Tina Wooding's kind of coaching them.
Great to see Woodings out on the field. I understand she might have been injured a little bit earlier, but...
Yeah, she's battling a bit of an injury, but yeah, it looks like she's working through that. And
still playing great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tina's played with a lot of these players for a really long time. She's an excellent athlete. An excellent puller. I've learned she has run my pull practice before. We have Kaplan with the disc. Swings to Dre. Finds Douglas. Swings, breaks back to Dre. Looking downfield. The defense downfield has been really tight, so Sorta Johnson's first opportunity to open that up. Finds Highland. Swings to Dre. Downfield finds Wong. Doesn't see anything open there. Oh, puts up to Highland, but it's incomplete.
A lot of defensive pressure coming here from the Austin Torch.
Absolutely. Woodings with the disc. She puts it upfield for fourth, but it was not received. Looks like the disc did not come in. Or it did. Oh, the observers are calling the location of where the disc would come in. Douglas with the disc. Swings to Kaplan. Oh, and an inside throw to Johnson. That was a little bit tough. I'll think it. Gridlock with the disc again. Oh, and a nice save there by Kaplan. Swings to Wong. Lily Wyatt bids. Doesn't quite get the D. Looks like there's some contact there. Foul called, resolved quickly.
Very friendly on the field.
Yeah, it's good spirit. Yep. Sometimes it is very clear when you're like, yep, I did foul. Kaplan looking to the disc, and she goes up line. Dre breaks to Tulsa, who finds Highland downfield for a score. Oh, there's a pick on the call.
And we saw that entire play initiated by Kaplan, striking upfield, opening up that around, and leading to two other throws right in that corner. Unfortunately, looks like there was a pick. See where it comes back. Douglas still with it in the middle of the field.
There seems to be more discussion here. Oh, and the disc is tapped in. Oh, and you have Kaplan open in the end zone. Oh, they found her. Great. Douglas had turned away a little bit there. Kaplan got wide open and is looking to dump it to Dre. Thankfully, Dre saw Kaplan and was able to get that disc to her.
Kaplan, one of the squirrelier players in this field, dropping anchor in that end zone and really pulling her boat up.
Absolutely.
Kaplan, a longtime member of New York Bent, leading this team on the handler front.
That brings this game to 12-9 to Gridlock. She's done a lot.
And Caseba with a pull. Comes up to about half field, a little further with that roll. Torch looking to work it upfield as Gridlock comes down with a 3-person cup again.
Yeah, here we go. Woods trying to prevent those crashes. They get the disc through to Bjork. Swings to Ortiz. Finds Bjork. Looks up field and finds fourth. Who then finds Sal. Oh! Wow, the wind.
See, having a little bit more of an impact than we thought on this game. It's been a little all over the place while the players were practicing earlier, warming up. There was certainly a little bit of wind, sort of from this right to left direction on your screen. Died down a little bit in the middle of the game, but it seems to have picked up a little again.
Oh, and in turn, Gridlock picks up the disc, but the first throw is incomplete. And they're on defense again. You have the ISO of fourth, but Casebo's shutting that down there. Bjork swings over to Schmaltz. Oh, and a missed throw there by Schmaltz. LD picks up the disc. Centers to Neves, who overthrows Caseba just by a little.
Keep in mind, this is an offensive point for the Austin Torch. So Gridlock able to come up with Ds. Not looking like they're able to work it upfield yet. Let's see if they can get another D.
Ooh, the travel. Yeah, you hear the crowd reacting to that travel right there. So it's a travel called on Bjork.
And you see everyone moving their fists around in that travel motion here in the crowd.
Yeah, seems to agree. So you have Bjork with the disc. Swings to Crouch, who bids to keep that disc up. Finds Broom, but not quite in. LD with the defense there, but overbids a little bit on the D play, and fourth is able to get that disc for a score.
Defensive sellout there by LD, looking to make the play. A great pump fake into the end zone that draws her bid, and then an easy score. We see it here. Looking away, and now coming back again upfield. Katie fourth with another goal.
That brings us to a 2-point game with 4 minutes and 49 seconds left in the game.
Keeping it exciting down to the last minute.
Yeah.
We all know that points only take 1 second to score.
They can. Maybe more than a second. Based on like physics of flying discs, but yeah. We could say 1 second.
Thanks, Hayley.
Yeah. No, this has been a really exciting game to watch. I mean, obviously for me personally with a lot of friends on the field, but hopefully for everyone watching at home as well.
Oh, and you can tell the passion of the players in the field. They must really love this game, to travel all this way, to spend all this time and money. We're very grateful to have everyone here, and grateful for this opportunity to watch such high caliber Ultimate.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Gridlock receiving. The wind is picked up, so that pull is designed to roll there a little bit, try and get as far as it could. Dre picks up the disc, finds Highland. Highland's looking to center, finds Dre on the inside with a great throw. Puts the disc up to Linda Morris. The disc sails longer than it was expected to, but Morris reads it and has a great end zone celebration there.
Yeah, what a great little IO flick up line to number 23, Rachel Yeager. Oh, apologies, I'm from the wrong team. That's Andrea De Sabato. And then throwing it for a goal.
Yep. Oh, that was really exciting to see. That's some chemistry there too. Dre and Linda have played on AMP together for a couple seasons, so yeah, there's a little. You have these little pockets of chemistry. I know Gridlock doesn't have, they don't have like a majority from any one team. Maybe the majority would be from bench, just because that's local women's team. But you have players from mixed teams as well, like AMP, and players who have played together upstate New York, players who have played together for years in different areas. So it's cool to see, and I think that it's a really great idea to utilize and keep those players on lines together who have those pockets of chemistry.
And this Gridlock team, really in the spirit of New York City itself, a true melting pot, seeing people come from all over the region to come here and play for what has proven to be a truly excellent team in this first season of the PUL.
Absolutely. It's a Bjork, the disc. Swings to Broom. Looks upfield for Tsao.
Call in the fields.
You're not helping there, Cam. Can you define the one?
The spin ultimate play of the game has got to be that amazing. Oh, sorry.
Which Gridlock girl?
Jumping the gun here with some of our little videos. Okay, anyways, let's focus back on the game here. Bjork with the disc for the torch. Looking to swing the disc, a great inside break. To Broom, who puts the disc immediately, seeing Tsao in the end zone, and she runs on to that for a score for Torch.
What a pair of great throws. That inside flick, taking it to the center of the field, and then another inside flick into the end zone, just putting it out to space for Tsao. Both teams consistently mixing it up on the offensive side.
And the spin ultimate play of the game is this play here by Gridlock, with Lauren Woods coming down with the disc. And her defense is right in that, but she comes down with that disc. I mean, she wanted that more. She boxed out her player, textbook Sky.
And the fans here in New York participating in a "We Will Rock You" chant. Maybe it's actually "We Will Lock You."
Possibly. That would make a lot of sense.
Clever fans.
Yep. That's so clever.
I think you're over-modulating and it's blasting it out.
All right, 3:20 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Gridlock up 13 to Austin Torch 11.
Torch with the pull. There's a sense of urgency here on the field. I feel like these last few points, people have been getting down real quick, even on offense. Gridlock moving the disc. Johnson with the disc right now. Finds Tulsa Douglas upfield. See swings to Dre. He's looking downfield for options. Swings back to Douglas. Finds Kaplan. He's looking to continue that handler movement there with a break throw to Douglas. Finds Morse under. There's Dre with the disc. And there's a pick call.
Gridlock demonstrating excellent patience downfield with a number of players streaking dig. Yet the handlers choosing to hold on, holster, really wear down that clock. We've only got 2:20 left in the fourth quarter. And they're up 2 points. Makes a lot of sense, not necessarily taking those risky shots to the end zone and working it amongst your incredibly talented handler core.
Absolutely. They've been working this disc really impressively, getting off the throws that they want. And, yeah, it's great to see that. Looks like the pick was on Dre, so the disc goes back, but she gets it again. Highland makes a break side cut. Has a disc on the end zone line here. And Morris gets open. Highland had turned away, but must have heard Morris saying that she was poached and turned upfield to put that score in.
Morris able to shake her defender in the end zone and streak free. Highland probably up at a stall 7 count, puts up a high release backhand to that corner for a goal. Again, demonstrating excellent, excellent patience. Had an opportunity to throw to one of her other players just seconds earlier and chooses to holster it as the defender comes streaking in. That might have been potentially a block. Instead, she holds on, looks for that around throw, and scores the goal.
So we have 1:48 left in this game. And Gridlock 14, Torch 11. The Gridlock D-line out here. And McKenna with the pull.
Curious to see what kind of defense the Gridlock come down on.
What are you going to guess?
I'm guessing they're going to go with that three-person cup again. Really try to waste the time, understanding that they've got some excellent downfield defenders. If the Torch decide to put something up, they know they've got an advantage in that space. Let's see what comes out.
We should have made a bet. You're wrong.
Have to have a chat with Coach Randall after this one.
We have the Torch moving the disc between the handlers here. Broom with the disc. Finds Bjork under, who puts the disc. Just sees Schmaltz going deep and decides to take that matchup. But it's not quite completed. Looks like there's a foul call there.
Contested foul in the end zone. Schmaltz going up, coming up just an inch short of that disc.
Let's
Looks
see that
like her
replay
fingertips
here.
just brushed by it.
Really lovely put by Elise Bjork. Oh, and it looks like it's hard to tell if there was any maybe contact on the back there, but it looks like it was a missed disc.
We've got a contested call here on the field.
Yeah, they're discussing it still. Okay, the observers ruled there was no foul. So the disc is turned over.
Gridlock with an excellent opportunity to put this one away. With 1:13 remaining, 3 up. Obviously another couple seconds coming off the clock as they continue to work it up. If they're able to put this one in, it might be the final dagger in this game.
You hear the crowd's excited. They feel it too. You have Tingerlini with the disc. She's really only looking to swing it to the center and, throws into the defense.
A tough throw, that little IO flick.
Yeah, absolutely. Bjork picks up the disc right here on the end zone line. It has Ortiz open, but it seems like a pick.
The clock now stopping on these stoppages as well to make sure that all teams have enough time to play.
I believe that's in the last 2 minutes of the last quarter, correct? That it does that, yeah. Oh, and you have swing to Broom, who finds Schmaltz in the end zone for a score.
Taking just 4 seconds off the clock since that last possession. Very efficient from the Austin Torch with that last throw. Here we are, 41 seconds left in the fourth quarter. A score of 14 for the New York Gridlock, 12 for the Austin Torch. What are you thinking, Hayley? How's it feeling on the field? The tension feels a little higher than I anticipated. Definitely still feels like a very close game that could go either way.
Absolutely, and I can tell, Gridlock is still feeling that, of course. It's hard to see teammates down there and want to be on the sideline to help support. But yeah, they seem very focused though, which is really good to see. Focused and wanting to do work and try and hold this offensive point here. Yeah, they do need to hold this.
Again, let's see what their offensive strategy looks like. They could choose to burn the clock for the next 41 seconds. It'll take 4 to 5 passes and some long holds. They might be able to do it. Let's see what the coaching strategy comes out with.
Yeah, a really nice pull by Sal. Douglas picks up the disc, centers it to Tucker. LP, the disc under. She's looking to swing, finds Kaplan. Sees Tucker, swings to Douglas. Oh, and there was a pass to Sarah Johnson. It looks like there's a foul call.
And foul call retracted there.
Yeah. It's great spirit there. Looked like a clean D.
From number 9, Sarah Johnson.
And Schmaltz puts the disc upfield at the end of the game. It's not completed. Gridlock wins this game.
There it is. New York Gridlock moving up to They score a record, of 3-1, pulling themselves to the top of the PUL, making their chances at championship weekend that much higher. Great showing here from the New York Gridlock, showing a lot of grit towards the end of that game, keeping it close the entire time. First half, a couple of drops on both sides, a little bit more low scoring, a score of 6-3. But we see a resurgence in the second half as the Gridlock rally off 8, and the Torch are actually able to rally off 9, winning the total number of points in the second half.
Okay. Great. And we have the Discraft player of the game goes to Sarah Johnson for her work on offense there in this game. She had so many completions and was working really hard to make sure the Gridlock offense was successful.
And the fans, very appreciative, obviously, of this incredible home win. The fans just absolutely thrilled about this team here. Love having professional Ultimate in New York City.
Absolutely. That was a very exciting game. Yeah, it was really great to watch. Everyone worked really hard on both sides of the field, and yeah, you couldn't ask for much more there.
Yeah, a little bit of a weight off the shoulders for the New York Gridlock now as they move up into that 3-1 position.
Yep.
A little more pressure now for the Austin Torch as they go down to 2-2. I don't believe that either team are in or out of contention officially yet, with one game remaining each. But it makes that last game for the Austin Torch just that much more important.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, you can follow the New York Gridlock Ultimate Journey as we travel to Atlanta, Georgia next week to compete in the first ever this is not the right thing to read. Next week as they travel to Atlanta to play the last regular season game. And for all of the latest New York Gridlock updates from New York Gridlock on Twitter and Instagram, follow us on Facebook. And New York Gridlock is accepting donations that will go directly towards covering players' travel expenses. Please consider donating. I think that's it.
Yeah, thanks to our fans for joining us today. Yeah. This is Stefan Dicker.
And Hayley Manning. And thank you for watching and listening to us. Yeah, it's a good time.
Cheers. Take care.
Yeah.